Hi everyone, I'm Zara and this is Jara.
Hi.
We're just waiting for you all to load and join up, but we are dietitians from the LifeShape clinic and we're here this morning to have a chat with you about the silly season and our hot tips and things we've come across most recently, because we're well into that silly season now, being in December. And yeah, we're just here to have a real casual chat, and if you have any questions or anything you want to comment, just comment below in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them. So I'm gonna start firing away with my top question from most of my clients this week, especially with the Christmas parties and functions happening. What is the best alcohol or the lowest calorie alcohol to drink? Yeah. I don't have an answer for that. My best answer is, choose something that you're going to enjoy and drink slowly. So if it is going to be a nip of spirits on ice, go for that. If instead of downing, 5 beers in 10 minutes, enjoy that nice alcoholic beverage instead of getting lots in a small amount of time. Another one is just even diluting those and really savouring them, making a spritz. Diluting with soda water or mineral water.
I actually had this topic. I talked about this topic in quite a lot of depth with somebody this week. And it made me just sort of sit back and reflect on, I guess, the overall culture and maybe where the focus should be. So rather than, okay, well, what's the lowest energy beverage? It is, okay, well, maybe do we need to have a chat about what's the total amount that you're going to be having of the evening? Where actually is the focus? Where should you be putting that? So are you going to these events to, are you going with the sole purpose of drinking, or are you going to, sit there and socialize with people and kind of get the enjoyment from the experience that way? And if you're going for the people and the social aspect, then it doesn't really matter about the nature of the beverage that you're having. And if it doesn't, well, okay, maybe we can talk about some alternate sort of beverage choices, maybe lower energy ones, if you're not too fast. But if you are going and you genuinely want to have a drink and you have a drink that you particularly enjoy, well, then don't deprive yourself of that. So exactly like you said, maybe choose one that you're really going to enjoy and just focus on actually enjoying it rather than opting for something that is lower in total energy but maybe you might not necessarily enjoy quite as much.
I agree.
So I don't know, that was kind of my little point on it. But obviously if we are looking at just the total sort of energy behind it, spirits, dry white wines, those sorts of bits and pieces, low calorie beers, low sugar ciders, those sorts of things.
And also what you're mixing those with. So
for sure.
The nips of the spirits, it's the soft drink that's actually going to give you those calories from the sugar. So always going for a low sugar, like a diet soft drink if you really want that flavour, or your soda or your mineral water, lots of lime, citrus fruits, a bit of bitters in there. Don't be afraid to sort of just, rearrange those drinks and ask the bartender, can I get that with soda instead of lemonade? And
sometimes like delaying the first drink that you have is also a good little sort of strategy. So maybe when you rock up, just opting for a glass of water to start your night off, or maybe a diet soft drink, and then sort of working your way from there. Just definitely reducing down the total hours of sort of drinking can help with controlling the total sort of amount.
Agreed.
Okay.
Other topics are, there's obviously on that topic of alcohol, lots of Christmas functions. So, how do you survive with all these things popping up each week and maybe even a few times a week? Free food, free alcohol, late nights, all of that. It's like, and you're trying to, maintain family, kids, health, gym in the morning, it's all very busy. But I guess from like even just a health perspective and weight loss and weight maintenance kind of thing, I always sort of go, well, you know, where are you going first? Looking at, okay, what's going to be potentially on offer? Do you know if it's even catered? Is it just finger food? Is it sit down dinners? What's it kind of, what sort of occasion is it? And time that you're going to go there. So if it's just straight after work, you know, if you only just ate at lunch and then you're waiting 6 hours until you go to this party, you're going to be quite hungry.
Hunger's never a good thing to kind of add into the mix. So that's a valid point.
Yeah.
Maybe looking at what you're planning to eat in the lead up and the frequency, so that you can make sure you arrive at the event not starving. Yeah. Because we never make good food choices when we're really, really hungry.
Exactly.
Looking at that.
And looking at I guess what's on the menu at that event, if you know, and then you can sort of plan. Okay, well I'll enjoy a bit of that, and that's your dinner for the night if that's what it's like. Eating before you go as well, like you sort of said. So if you're sort of like, don't think it's going to be really sit down dinner or good food options, I might actually have a small meal or a snack before I go, so you're not arriving hungry and then drinking on an empty stomach as well. So it's just, it does come down to planning and being reasonable and sensible about it.
I think for people that might respond really strongly to visual cues of food, those sort of situations can be
especially when it's free. It's like,
especially when it's free. So making sure that you go there, you're not hungry, so that you're less likely to respond to those cues, but also even just sort of setting yourself up where you're located in the rooms as well. So trying to put a bit of distance. If you are choosing to eat something, it's a good idea, if it is a grazing platter, to actually get a small plate and just sort of put down what you want to eat. A napkin. And just, pick what you're really going to enjoy, and then just eat those off of your plate rather than going back to the grazing table all the time. You can really easily lose track of how much you've actually eaten. So that's usually what I would suggest kind of around that, as well as really honouring the hunger and fullness side of things. So if you're going to an event and you're actually not hungry, should you be eating? And then also, if you are nibbling over a period of time, just sort of checking back in with how hungry you're feeling and how full you're feeling, because you can often control your portion sizes if you're really honouring that fullness.
It's like being aware of actually how am I feeling, rather than free
just
food.
Default to the food that's on
default
offer. So
absolutely.
Just bringing back that awareness, I think, is a valuable little tool and technique too.
And also what you sort of said before, like, are you going there to socialise and things like that? So yes, that you might get your little napkin of food and enjoy that, but also I think distance yourself away from the food. If you're sort of like, well, I've had I've had plenty, I'm not actually hungry, I'm going to go and round and talk and
mingle,
have something in your hand, like a diet drink, or you're out your chosen alcohol, so you don't feel too awkward just walking around with nothing. But it's that interaction and just distancing yourself away from the visual cue of that food looks good, and when you've already had some, it's fine.
One of the other really common topics that I've had sort of people mentioning to me over the last couple of weeks is feeling like you can't say no to food that's kind of put in front of your face, and also if you're going to an event and people have put in a lot of effort maybe to have a beautiful display of food, and feeling almost like you're obliged to sit down and eat. So that's a really common sort of one that people have put towards me. And I guess, the way that I've sort of spoken about that and some of the advice that I've given around that is, obviously you will always choose who you're going to disclose, if you might be choosing to eat a little bit healthier and, be a little bit more proactive with regard to your exercise and just general sort of well-being. So if the situation isn't the right one to disclose that to, the people that you're around in the moment, then just having some easy I guess, deflection sort of, you know, little, I don't know what you would call it, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like little phrases that, you know, that looks really lovely, but I'm actually not really hungry at the moment. And just coming up with little phrases that you can easily kind of deflect the food that might be sort of presented to you if you don't feel like you can necessarily chat to people in a very open way about maybe the changes that you're making. But also, you know, if you do feel comfortable, maybe disclosing that with people.
Yeah.
Learning how to be a little bit more assertive in situations can be quite valuable, and sort of learning the subtle difference between being assertive and, being aggressive. And I think people sometimes don't know the difference, or can be fearful that maybe they'll come across in an aggressive way rather than an assertive way. So just looking at that, you know, as an option.
Agree. And I mean, like, it's sort of just sorry, we just had a little interruption. I think being assertive in that, like, instead of, like, I've seen this before, like, instead of saying like, oh no, like, I'm on a diet, no, like, straight away, no, just sort of giving them, maybe it's not like I'm, you know, really trying to lose weight, like, maybe not, don't give them that sort of full disclosure, but give them a little bit of a reason as to why, you know, if it's, for example, a good one is, you know, do you want a drink, or do you want this or that? It's like, well, actually no, I'm driving, or actually no, I've already had one and I'm getting up in the morning to do a run with a friend, and it'd be, you know, I'd have a water, and just giving them like maybe an alternative that they can help you. So it's like, oh no, I'm not having, I'm fine with the cake, but I'll have a bit of, you know, the carrots and dip or whatever it is. It's sort of just giving them that alternative so they don't keep pushing pushing
right.
you.
And I mean, if you're feeling particularly confident, and this is one thing that I often have to remind myself as well, you don't actually have to justify your answers. So people say no.
That as well. You don't have to give everyone a little bit of a life story. It can just be a simple, actually no, I'm fine, thank you.
That's right.
Good.
So they were kind of the points that I had wanted to chat over. Did you have any other ones?
I guess the other thing that just goes out the door sometimes is just your routine with, you know, keeping up your exercise levels.
That's a good one, actually.
So, you know, if you're normally doing, I don't know, an early gym class or something, but there's been these late functions and things, it's just sort of, you know, yes, maybe you do need a bit of a sleep in, but it's trying to rebalance that, and so you're not missing you're not missing that,
don't let it go completely
off the wayside. You're not missing that dose of, you know, your endorphin kick and your fitness and everything, and it does maintain a bit of sanity, I think, especially for me over this period.
And I think that also comes back to planning, though. So if you know you have you know, XYZ events in your week coming up, well, it's kind of going pick and choose what one. Maybe that you're going to invest a little bit more of your time. Maybe you're going to stay up a bit later. And in which case, don't schedule, you know, a 6:30 run in the morning after that. But if you know that there might be some other functions where, maybe you don't have to, you know, drink as much, or you feel comfortable maybe leaving a little bit earlier, well, you know, then you can get up and do your regular exercise.
Locking it in.
So just being a little bit more on top of the whole planning side of things with it.
And for the really busy clients that I see, I just sort of treat it as another appointment. So if they have to reschedule an appointment or a meeting, you know, you don't just bail forever. You've got to reschedule that meeting that you're going to have. So it's just the same with exercise. If you're not going to go to that 6 a.m. class or walk, can you do it later?
That's right.
Make it up.
Move it to the afternoon or middle of the day kind of thing.
Usually you have more time around this period of, you know, when people go off work and it's a bit more holiday time with families and things, you know, still staying active with the kids as well. So, you know, that sort of activity doesn't have to be huffing and puffing in the gym. It could be game of backyard cricket or footy and enjoying, you know, the beautiful weather that we have. And getting the family involved is always fun. For sure. So keeping it fun and realistic.
And it's important to keep moving, particularly if you're going to be a little bit more social too.
Cool. I guess that's sort of what we wanted to cover. If you have any questions, just type below and we'll get back to you. But thanks so much for watching our very first live video. We did all right. So
you haven't been too awkward for
yeah, let us know your feedback, and also let us know future topics so that you'd like to hear about. And we can see what we can do for you. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, guys.